Hey plant nerds, welcome back to my channel. We have reached the end of Vlogmas, which means we are at the end of the year. Christmas is over, and that makes me sad. But you know what doesn't make me sad? Hoya. So today I wanted to go through a Hoya haul of Hoyas that I have picked up in the past few months from trades or from ordering. This is gonna be the last Hoya haul of 2020. So grab yourself a drink and settle in because we have some Hoya to see. I will be sipping on my favorite bourbon, Blanton's, and this one is a special one. And since it's the end of the year, we're popping out the special bourbon. Cheers. So like I said, some of these Hoya came from orders and some of them came from trades, etc. But I wanted to go through and show you the ones that I've picked up in September and October because that was kind of the last time that I bought plants. And I wanted to make sure that they were going to survive before I showed them on camera. And all of the ones that I'm going to show you have survived. So the first Hoya from this 2020 final Hoya haul is this Hoya Caudata. I know it's on a pretty big trellis, and that is just me manifesting to the world that I want this plant to grow. And so far, it's working because it has a grow point down here and another one right up here. I accidentally broke off the growth point of this particular Hoya, which I have propagating right now, and it's already produced a new little leaf here. I really love this Hoya just for the texture of the leaves. They're very rigid and the splash on them is also very beautiful. So I love this Hoya. I'm hoping that I can grow a nice big full plant of it, but as of now, it's rooted really well. You can see those there. So I think in like 6 months time, this will fill out this trellis a little more, but it's still adorable, still cute. The next Hoya that I want to show you guys is this Hoya Finlaysonia, and that's as much information on this as I have. I don't know if it's a certain variety of the Finlaysonia, but when I received this plant, it was this cutting here, and it has since grown, and I know I need to put it on a new trellis, but it has grown all of this, putting off some very beautiful veiny speckled leaves, and has a few grow points down here as well. So this one's growing really well for me so far, and I need to just get it a better support system. Right now it's kind of sitting on the shelf and leaning on some other trellis that I have, and you can tell that this top leaf is considerably smaller than the rest of them, more than likely because it's not supporting itself. The next Hoya is this beautiful Hoya Cigilatus, and this one has been a little bit of a struggle for me. It's grown a couple stems that have produced leaves that have fallen off, but it actually has produced these 2 sets of leaves here, and they haven't fallen off, but these ones are obviously considerably smaller than the rest of the plant. I absolutely adore this Hoya. The leaves feel a lot like the Caudata. They're very rigid, cardboard-like, and they have this beautiful speckle on them. And the back sides of these leaves are this burgundy color as well as the front, but this one's just a really cool looking Hoya, and I hope it continues to do well. I want to see some more growth out of this one, but as of now, it's rooted well, it's growing a little bit. So all in all, I'm happy with it. I want it to be more happy. Our next Hoya is this beautiful Hoya Australis sunny side up. I just love all the Hoya Australis, the Lisa, the Alba Marginata, and now the sunny side up. This is my third type of, well, fourth, because I have the original Australis, the green form. But this sunny side up it's beautiful. It has very succulent type leaves like the Alba Marginata, and they are fuzzy. This one hasn't done much for me. I did finally move it under my grow lights, and it has started pushing out a new growth point at the top here. And then until today, I didn't see this, but it also has pushed off an entire vine from down in the leca, and that surprised me, and that makes me really excited. So it's happy under the grow lights now. I think these variegated versions of the Australis, the Lisa, the Alba Marginata, and this sunny side up, they definitely need really bright light to grow well. But I can't wait to watch these leaves develop because I want to see what the variegation looks like on these and if it looks similar to these two leaves on this node. And going along with the fuzzy Hoya, this next Hoya that I want to show you is the Hoya Velosa Caudata. And dang. This one is very fuzzy as well. This was just a one leaf node. The other ones had died in transit, and it has put off this leaf and this little one back here, and it's working on another one, but so far so good. This one really enjoyed being in the prop box, but I've taken it out of the prop box and put it on the shelf just to see how it adjusts. So far we're doing well. This grew a lot faster than I thought it was going to, and the leaves on this plant are just, they're like very shiny, also fuzzy, and they have these beautiful veins throughout. Definitely a favorite of mine. And the next Hoya is this Hoya Finlaysonia EPC 318. This Finlaysonia, this one is gorgeous. Again, this one really liked the prop box as well. All of these brighter green leaves are from the prop box. But this one, again, has that like cardboard textured leaf, but it has nice splash and the veins are very pronounced. And this one's just been growing really well. You can see the roots coming out there, and then obviously the algae growing in the cash po, which you cannot prevent if you use clear glass. There's a few growth points down here at this stem that are activated, but I absolutely just love the foliage on this Hoya. The green is bright and beautiful. There's some reddish tints to the veins when they're a little sun stressed, but all in all, gorgeous. Okay, our next Hoya is a little bit of a strange bird, but this is the Hoya Enduences, and it's a small cutting of the Hoya Enduences that was basically rotted when it came to me. I was fearing that it wasn't going to survive. All of the leaves were just wrinkly and dehydrated, so I put it in leca, gave it some Super Thrive, put it in my prop box, and soon enough it developed a lot of roots. The leaves hardened off, and now new growth has started sprouting on this one. I just love the leaf shape on this little Hoya. Looking at this Hoya, it looks a little bit like ivy or like a pilea vining leaf, something in that realm, but these leaves are very, very rigid, and they have this beautiful kind of edge to them that kind of is a wave. But all in all, this one has grown well. Like I said, it's put off some new growth points, and I can see a few more that have activated, so it seems very happy. And I can't wait for this one to just be a full plant. Like, I want this on one of those hoop trellis, just full of Enduences, and I am really excited to see that happen, and I'm really excited to see this one flower. The next Hoya I want to talk about is this beautiful Hoya Clandestina. This one has the leaf shape of like a Hoya macrophylla, like it's a very lance-shaped leaf, but you can also see those beautiful veins in the leaf. Under the sun, under the grow lights, it can get very red, like a very sun-stressed red. Right now it's blushing a little bit on these newer leaves, but I've taken it a little further away from the light. When I received this plant, it wasn't rooted very well, and actually most of the plants that I ordered from that seller, they shipped in plastic, and it was a bad shipment. A lot of them the roots were rotted if they were rooted cuttings. If they were just cuttings, a lot of them were suffering badly. All of them I stuck in leca. I put them in my prop box under my grow lights, and they all started producing new growth and roots very quickly. So I was really happy about that. There were a few that I lost in that shipment, but I just love these big leaf veiny Hoyas. I think they're just so beautiful. And speaking of big leaf, big vein Hoyas, this one is the Hoya Sarawak, which was a wish list Hoya for me because I think that these are the coolest looking Hoya, especially if you have a big mature plant of this. Mine was just this one leaf here, which you can see is very large, and it's grown another leaf here as well and putting off some new growth right back there. And I am really excited for these leaves to develop. These just kind of popped out within this week. For a while it was kind of stagnant and I was getting a little worried that it wasn't happy. This one's definitely liking being in leca. It's grown quite a bit of roots. I just pulled it out of its small little container that I had it in, that it was propagating or rooting in, and have put it in this bigger pot. So hopefully those roots will spread out and tell the plant it can grow a little more. But I have seen that some folks that have these online, they seem to grow pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that this one will be that way and we will have a nice full plant in a few months. All right, the next Hoya that I want to show you is this beautiful Hoya Angelada, which is probably one of the weirdest, wonkiest looking Hoyas. This one has definitely had a little sun stress. This one's been under my grow lights as well, and very happy there. This one suffered probably out of all the Hoya that I ordered, except for the ones that died. This one suffered the most. I think it only had one leaf from the original plant that was sent to me that survived. And the rest of these leaves that you see here have all grown in the prop box. It's growing rather quickly. I mean, I got this plant in October and it's now December and it's put off 3 new leaves that are very healthy and happy and obviously going to be putting off more. So I was really nervous about this plant just because when I saw pictures of it, these leaves to me felt like they were going to be very thin, and the thin-leafed Hoyas just, they need high humidity, and I was nervous that this was going to need a lot of humidity. And while I still think it would thrive better under higher humidity because it was in the prop box under very high humidity and clearly happy, it's still doing well now. And these leaves, I mean, there's just nothing like them. They're weird, wonky, they're curvy, and they're just, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe this Hoya, but I absolutely adore this plant. And look at the bottom of those leaves. It's like a dark purple underneath them. Just a gorgeous Hoya. I absolutely adore this one. All right, now we've made it to the end. This is the final Hoya of my final 2020 Hoya haul. So I definitely saved the best Hoya for last. This is one of my favorite new Hoya that I received this year. I saw my friend Rachel, planted in Omaha, have this plant, although hers looks vastly different than mine. And as soon as I saw her post it, I was like, I need it. I need to find that one. And I did find one. It came in looking a bit rough, as most of my Hoya from overseas did. But this one has definitely pulled through, and this is the Hoya AH074. Oops. So this Hoya is just, I mean, the variegation on this Hoya is so different from any other variegation on any plant that I've ever owned. It's almost textured, like you can feel the variegation on these leaves, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. This Hoya is growing extremely well. I was really nervous about this one. This vine over here that it was shipped with, a lot of the leaves were damaged and it was broken, and sure enough it put off a new vine down at the main node, and it's grown all of these beautiful leaves. And what I love so much about this Hoya is that when it's developing a new leaf, it comes out looking kind of solid green, and then as it matures, as the leaf grows, it loses some of those anthocyanins that are turning the leaf like a pinkish red, and it starts showing its variegation. And I think it's so cool because each leaf is obviously different than the last, and some are more variegated, some are less variegated. For the most part, this one is staying silvery and beautiful, and I absolutely adore this Hoya. So I'm so happy that I have it, and I can't wait for it to get bigger. All right, guys, that's it. That's my Hoya haul, my last Hoya haul of 2020. I want to know what Hoyas you've gotten this year that you are absolutely in love with. So let me know down in the comments which Hoya that you finally have in your possession now that you are absolutely in love with and you're so grateful for. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also click that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. This is a plant channel where we talk about plants. We might do some other stuff in between, but it's mostly plants. And as always, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. There's a horse on the bottle.